Hey everybody, it's Pete. Good morning. It is Friday morning, February 26, 2021, the last trading day of February. So let's make it a good one. Let's make it trade like a pro, be as focused as possible. Hopefully yesterday you were on top of your risk. Hopefully you respected your stop losses. One of the biggest things that we talk about in the boot camp is don't move your stop loss. That means that you haven't accepted the dollar amount of risk and, just give it a little room, just give it a little room. And certainly a little room becomes this monster loss. I'm telling you, it is a huge key to successful trading is respecting risk. And what respecting risk means, before you put the trade on, you say, I'm okay with risking that amount because I think I could make that amount. And if it happens to go down to your stop loss, you simply get out and you look for the next trade. Great trading, profitable trading, which I know you're aspiring to do if you're watching these videos every day, means that you need to manage the downside. And then the second thing is learn how to hold your winners. And I'm telling you right now, if you don't manage the downside, you're not going to be around long enough to understand how and when to manage the winners. You need experience. You need the habit. You need to play some trades to get in there and really understand what it means to be a winning trader. So hopefully you stuck to your risk yesterday. We spent a lot of time in the boot camp yesterday really talking about honor the risk. Don't force trades. Don't try and pick a bottom. And we came out unscathed yesterday. It was a lot of conversations about how to set up price action, understanding when we should be in cash, understanding when we should start buying the dip, which is something we're going to talk about today. So obviously, we're going to be talking about Cathie Wood, the news of Cathie Wood dipping her toes into the 50% dip in Workhorse after they lost the contract. Something that I want to bring up that's really important. Okay, we're going to look at the chart. We're going to look at the volume. We're going to look at the price action. We're going to talk about what I'm interested in doing in the trade. You need to know Cathie Wood is not looking at level 2 quotes. Cathie Wood is not looking at where is the stock right now. She's looking at where she thinks it's going to be a year from now, 2 years from now, 3 years, 5 years from now. So put your trading capital in perspective if you are following what she's doing. She's not day trading. She's causing a stir yesterday. We'll take a look at the stocks yesterday afternoon. But you need to understand she's not day trading. So if a stock pulls back and you read that she's starting to allocate more shares, I think even Tesla this week was more shares as well. You need to understand that there's a time horizon. It's an investment. It's a growth investment, yes, but it's an investment, which means you need to do what is. Let me put this up here. Hopefully, you've read this book and you absorbed it. And again, if you highlight it like I do, every single page in there, you need to understand the probing strategy. This is the whole point of this. Is you need to understand that you don't go in with full share size, especially when a stock takes. Here's some trading language for you. When a stock takes a 50% haircut, when a stock is at 40 and gets crushed all the way down to 14, that's more than a 50% haircut. But that means when you want to start going back in, when you think there's news, when you think there's a catalyst, when you think the deep pocket starts to turn it around, you need to put out a probe. My friend Mark used to call it a tier 1. You need to go in with your first piece and then get feedback, get confirmation from deep pockets that, okay, that was the first piece. Now we're going to push it up, pause. And then during that second pause, you're looking for confirmation again, where you put on another piece. So as we look at the news, there's 2 different pieces of news. First, why it sold off and what she did. Then we'll go to the charts. We'll read the tape. So first, if you like these videos, if you just do me a favor, subscribe because you'll get updates. But more importantly, give us a thumbs up. That's really tells me that you like the content and I'm producing what's helping you. Second, if you can leave a comment and let me know what you want to learn. That's really a big deal to me. Because obviously, we're up early, it's dark out. I want to help you, but I want to know what you need to know. So the more comments you leave about what type of stock picking, what type of education, what you're frustrated with, that'll help me understand how I can help you personally. So what I tell everybody in the boot camp, I need to ask you to participate, which is first give us a thumbs up if you found the video helpful. Then leave a comment and let me know what will help you personally. So we're going to head over to the charts. We're going to take a look at Workhorse, obviously. So we're going to start out with the news. The news first started out with Workhorse drops nearly 50% after they did not get the USPS contract. So that's part 1. Part 2 now is just one day later. Workhorse jumps as Cathie Wood, ARK Invest, decides to buy the dip on the more than 50% decline. So remember that terminology, 50% haircut, right? So again, Cathie Woods is not day trading. You need to make sure that you understand the time frame that you're trading, do what they talk about in Reminiscence of a Stock Operator, and put on your first probe, put on your first share size with the intention of adding if it continues to bounce, and if it starts to move against you, you have a reasonable small loss. Remember we said at the beginning of the video, you need to understand managing risk is job number one, so you're around long enough to understand how to make winning trades and hold them longer. So what are we looking at here? Obviously, one of the biggest things we want to talk about is volume. This bounce that we saw yesterday, and actually, for those of you that are not day traders, this is actually what we were looking at yesterday afternoon. Out of nowhere, it went from 15 to 19, which is a pretty good big move in about 15 minutes, right? So for those of us that are not looking at it from a day trading perspective, and we're looking to put that first piece on, we're looking to get involved, we're looking to see if they're going to hold the bid, another terminology where you push and you pause and they hold the bid, they don't allow it to pull back. That's what we're looking for right now. So what we're looking for, again, from the volume perspective, this is awesome. This is really good. This is what we want to see, but it's only the first step. We need to see a push. We need to see a pause. And then during that second pause, we want to see another move higher. So again, first piece, I can't wait to watch this unfold because it's going to be exciting for us to do together. We want to see a push coming out of this bottom, which is a short-term bottom. We want to see a push, which will probably be 3 to 5 days of what we call well-bid price action, which is higher highs, higher lows, preferably trading on the highs. Then the next pause. We should go sideways for maybe 2 or 3 days. It's after that sideways move where we want to close on the highs and then look to add to our position. We're getting feedback. We're getting the smart money saying, hey, here we are. We're making our second piece. Then you jump in and we look to piggyback what they're doing. That's smart trading. It's plan trading. You're scripting out your success. If it moves in our favor, this is what we plan to do. If it moves against us, okay, we accepted the risk before the trade. That's what you want to aspire to do. It's not about setting alerts and running, oh, it's up pre-market, or I read a news story yesterday. You need to script your success. That's why the way we trade in the boot camp and what I teach. And if you want to join me, click all the way down in the description. You'll see a link down there. Everything we do is planned out. It is very stress-free. Sometimes there's nothing to do because the market's not unfolding the way we'd like it to. That's okay. You just stay in cash. When the market does unfold, gives us ideas, then we just look for entries. It is the most stress-free way to be in control of your trading. You need to script what you expect to happen, but first you need to understand what you need to see happen, which means you need a plan, you need an edge, you need to understand how to read the tape. I just gave you a little tiny example of what we're going to watch together in Workhorse over the next week or so. So next we're going to jump into looking at some other stock. Actually, you know what? First, let's take a look at the SPY. Last week, we actually had mentioned during this rally, maybe about a week and a half ago, what we were seeing was not healthy. Again, a little bit more of a tape reading lesson here, where we were rallying on significantly decreasing volume. Then we had a couple of down days on higher volume. Then we had another down day on higher volume. And yesterday, obviously, on monster volume. So volume playing a big part of reading the market, tape reading, right? This is a big part of it. William O'Neill, and actually in another book, How to Make Money in Stocks, definitely a book you should read. He calls them accumulation versus distribution days. We started to see distribution days. If you go back about a week and a half ago, we said the market's starting to crack. We're starting to see it in sector rotation. We'll leave a video up here about sector rotation as well. You need to put the pieces together to understand how to position your share size, as well as whether or not you want to be booking profits or even taking a flat. Again, another language there, taking a flat on some longer term positions. So we started to roll over. Yesterday, intraday, again, we'll get into intraday a little bit here. Right here around 1:30, we saw, right around 1 o'clock, we saw what we call exhaustion. Big down move heading into a big spike after momentum. It pushed down, and that was the area we were starting to look for the bids to come back in, and they actually did, but it wasn't sustainable. So we started to get in with probes, first piece in a couple of different trades, pushed in our favor, came back, took a flat, no harm, no foul, didn't follow through. Stocks were strong prior to that. So what we're going to take a look at today is some other opportunities besides Workhorse. Rocket Mortgage had earnings yesterday, and you can see the stock's actually up 9%. Now, from an order flow perspective, the stock's not doing anything. You can see here, you can't look at this stock and say, wow, buyers are doing something in the stock. I can't wait to get involved. Absolutely not. However, the earnings yield on this stock, throwing a little bit different terminology in there, the earnings yield on the stock is actually pretty good. It's well over 15%. So again, probing off of this earnings, 21, putting us right into the middle of what is right now the right price. If you want to think about this as a little bit more as a position trade, a little bit growth trade, right now on the earnings, which were good, you put on the first piece, again, putting out your probe and not looking to add to this until it gets above and closes above on the weekly chart on 24. So again, this is the way we do things in the boot camp. You want to script your success so that you understand exactly what you need to do before you need to do it. It's very stress-free this way. There's no guesswork. You know exactly what you're going to do. Again, if you want to join me, you'll get actually everything sent right to your phone. Just click down into the description and learn about how we set all of this stuff up. So again, I just gave you 2 different steps in this trade, in the rocket trade. Next, we're going to take a look at some strong stocks that pulled back for a couple of days. Actually, Snap is going to be on that list. So what we're actually looking for now, it's shifting around a little bit more. Again, scripting it out, knowing exactly what we want to see. Strong stock pulled back, good earnings pulled back. Now I'm looking for the stock to actually open lower, find support, and do what we call a snapback trade where it gets back above yesterday's low, and then we're going to start looking for it. So you start to see here, trading is actually relatively easy. When you first you have an edge, you have to identify where smart money's doing something. Then you say, if this happens, then I'm doing this. And you're just sitting back and saying, all right, baby, pour me a coffee. I just need to look for an entry if an entry unfolds. Next, we have MGM and Wynn, both strong stocks, really good relative strength recently. Looking for the same thing. And these 2 stocks were looking for a test of yesterday's low and maybe even close near the high. We'll probably wait to the end of the day for this one. Save is another one. Excellent, excellent relative strength. And again, remember what I said before about what we're looking for in Workhorse? You could see a push and a pause, a push and a pause, a push and another pause. And we're looking for another push here. One other one that is at the top of our list from yesterday, and this was actually called out in our community yesterday in our game plan meeting. This wasn't one of my ideas, but really solid. Closed near the highs yesterday while the market was getting absolutely obliterated. Had a good bullish gap, closed near the highs, looking for follow through here again as well. And speaking of haircuts, we're looking at Riot. Riot, obviously, Mara trading with Bitcoin. Bitcoin seems to have settled in a little bit, not necessarily calling reversal yet. So again, we're going to be looking for this to give us signs of price action and volume. We're going to start to look to get back involved in there again. So again, be smart. Script your trades out so there's no stress. Know exactly what you're looking for. And then regardless of what happens, you say, if that happens, then I'm doing this. If I put on my first piece, then I'm doing this. If it moves against me, then I'm doing this. It's the most stressful way to trade. I'm telling you, doing this a long time, no guesswork, no reacting. Everything is anticipating what you're going to do next, but it starts with having an edge. And obviously our edge is learning to read the order flow, which is following the deep pockets, and then tape reading, which is getting those entries as close as you can to the optimal entry. If you want to learn how I do it, you get my course free when you join the bootcamp. Scroll down, learn about it. We talked a lot about Cathie Wood. Everybody's talking about Cathie Wood right now. Just remember, if you're going to follow her, she's not day trading. So you need to use that probing strategy to get in pieces as the trade unfolds, if it unfolds. And if it doesn't, you accepted the risk before the trade, so you know exactly what you plan to do. If it does, you also now know when the price action needs to look like in order to add to that position. So let's have an awesome day, everybody. Let's act like a pro today. If we get some selling again, respect risk, be in cash, stick to those stops, don't move them. Look for good trades that have had relative strength over the last week, the last month, and the last quarter. And then we'll get in there and we'll be the best we can today. I'm going to challenge you today to be better today than you were yesterday. I know it's in you. I know that you're watching this video for a reason, because you want to have this certain lifestyle. You want to be in control. You want to have that security. I'm challenging you now. If we have a tough day, act like a pro, and that's where the control comes from every single week. All right, so if you like these videos, definitely give us a thumbs up. I'd really appreciate that. Click like. If you really want to get some updates, click subscribe, and have an awesome day and have an awesome weekend, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate it.